We are page Beis, about the middle of the top section. We will start at the end of the line that begins with the word Davka. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Am I disconnected?
Could be somebody who's connected is making that noise.
Yeah, I'm disconnected.
Not enough money on your account. Please don't call. Please add money to your account. There is not enough money on your account to place this call. Please add money to your account.
Oh. Oh, shucks. The guy's supposed to pay. This is a monthly.
Yeah, here we go.
Shame on you.
Okay.
Welcome to IDT Connect. Please enter your conference ID, followed by the... Welcome to the conference room.
You're supposed to.
At the tone, please thank you. You are now entering the conference room. To exit the conference room, press ***. For help, press *9.
All
You are
right.
participant number 4.
So we are, as I said, the top section, a little bit above the middle of the top section of Beis. The line begins with the word Davka. We are speaking in quite extensively on the principle that the higher the oil is, in order for it to manifest itself in the world, it has to come on a lower level. Ultimately, we began this discussion from the giving birth. Giving birth is rooted in the etzem koiches hanefesh, the atzmius, which is the ultimate in the truth and the godly truth, and it comes through in a gashmizik form because of this principle. And we have several illustrations of this principle where this manifests itself, like the Aryeh and the Shoyer and so forth. And then we come to the Torah. That the Torah also, the Malachim requested that the Torah be given to them. The Torah should stay in Ruchnius. And the Rebbe should answer no. And the Moshe Rabbeinu answered them, that the Torah, the essence of Torah, can only express itself on the lowest level, in halachis. And Moshe Rabbeinu pointed out to them, you do not have a Yetzer Hara, and therefore you do not have the basis for the essence of Torah to come by. And this is where we are at the end of the line, Dafka. V'hainu, which is to say, the Heyois, the Hizgalus Amitis Oir HaTorah. Being that the expression and the manifestation of the true light of Torah. The true light of Torah means with the light of Torah, when you recognize the truth that's inherent in the light of Torah. Light of Torah, can illuminate many different things. But where do you sense the essential truth of that? Hudafke ale de birur hayetze hora. that manifests itself, that surfaces only as a result of birur of the Yetzer Hara. This is where you sense the truth of the Er HaTorah. So we discussed this a bit yesterday. The first day of creation, Hashem created light. There should be light, and there was light. And at that point, there was light without a physical luminary. The sun was not created yet. And it always comes. Somebody's phone is not muted. Please mute it. What kind of light? What does it mean? There is light without a sun, without a luminary. And we discussed this many, many times. The truth is, there is absolutely no way that we can discuss it and explain what this light consists in. We can only speak in terms of its effect. The light coming from the sun, as we discussed many times, just the ray of the sun, this is what's called the ha'ora, where the truth of this light remains in the sun, and the ha'ora, the effect of light, comes down into the world and it illuminates it. And it does not affect the world, it simply makes it visible. The light that was created in Rishon was the essence of light. And that light did away with the darkness of the world. Didn't illuminate it, it did away with it. And this is why it was concealed. Because the idea is that it should be a world. And this light was not fit to operate in combination with the world. L'osid lobe, the world itself would be elevated and then it would be possible. But at that time, the light, Gonzai, he concealed it. Because that light was not a light to illuminate darkness, but it actually eliminated the whole phenomenon of darkness. Torah, the light of Torah, similarly. You can have the light of Torah that shows you how to behave in the world. It gives you guidance so that you behave in the world in a human way, in a respectable way, in a godly way. But the principle, the basis of your existence, the basis of your behavior is based on the presence of world. The meaning of Torah is to transform that. That the basis of your behavior should be the godly presence, not the worldly presence. This is Amitis in HaTorah. That occurs in our time, that occurs, so to speak, in our experience, when the Yetzer Hara itself is transformed. It's in his body. Yetzer Hara. Step back for a second. We said that we can have a decent behavior with the world being as its base. Within the world, the context, we can behave normally. The principle of the Yetzer Hara is that it refuses to accept that. It wants to focus entirely on worldliness. That's Yetzer Hara. It does not accept, so to speak, light in the world. So that means the Yetzer Hara is bent on establishing the supremacy of world. The Torah counteracts that in its turf, in the Yetzer Hara's turf, which means it transforms that at the base is not world but godliness, but God. That is the essence of the light of Torah. When is that manifest? When is that surface? When there is a bitul Yetzer Hara. Therefore, that's Moshe said, you don't have a Yetzer Hara, you don't have a means to actually reflect and bring out the amitis in el HaTorah, amitis of el HaTorah. Davke al biru Yetzer Hara, the Yisro ha'oir hu min ha'choisher davka, because the supremacy of oir surfaces from choshech, exclusive, davke. When is it recognized? Only min ha-choshech. In other words, the fact, choshech, as we always say, our world, worldliness in general, it's choshech is the basic state of world. Like it says, at the time of creation, where choshech hapnei sein. World represents choshech. That's the reality of world. Oir has to counter certain aspects of world. It can illuminate it, but essentially the basic state of world is choshech. To be mevarer the choshech, to be mevarer the choshech, to the point where it is to be recognized. It is recognized in the world that the real thing is oir, not choshech. That can only happen when you have choshech. Yisrin ha'oir mitoy ha'choshech. The Yisrin ha'oir means we can't even really project and understand in our seichel what that really refers to. As we always say, as an example, the sun, that the essence of the sun is light, and to get, so to speak, a straight hit on that principle, we say light to the sun is the same as darkness to us. Now we can understand darkness as a basic state, but we can understand light as a basic state. Light that can transform darkness. This is where you see the Yisrin Oir. You see the reality of oil, how oil is really the reality. And that surfaces only mitoy ha-choshech.
The Malachim, their base is
light.
Their base is light. But that's what we're trying to bring out. In other words, the Etzem Torah is to be that the base should be...
No, but their base is light because you don't have darkness. It isn't that they have... They don't have Yetzer Hara.
We bring out the fact that the light is supreme.
That's right, supremacy.
If the goal is to continually bring out light from darkness, why would we say there'll become a day when it'll be all light?
The goal is to bring out that light that surfaces from darkness. When that darkness will be totally refined, totally transformed, then there will be that true light.
That true light will be present.
The true light will be present.
What will be of Torah at that point?
I don't know.
But this is on the one hand, it sounds like on the way to a different goal. But here we're kind of saying the main goal is this bringing out.
No. The main goal is to bring out that light.
It's not a means to an end. That's the main activity on the one.
Where are you coming from?
This whole Yisron or Mina Choshech. Just.
Do you understand it within the context that we're discussing it? Let's not go into the future. Do you understand the context that we're discussing? The future, the lion is not going to be a wild beast.
Yeah. I'm not sure I understand it in the context, meaning
I just explained. We have light that illuminates the world, which means that world is fundamentally darkness. The world is fundamentally based on mitzias. That's why it's dark.
right.
When you touch something, that's world. If by touch you will immediately recognize that this is a godly presence, then the world is not going to be dark. To give us, I'm not going to explain this principle conclusively because it's impossible, but to give you in contrast. He said today when you encounter something in the dark, so there is the human way of encountering it and there's the animal way of encountering it. The human way of encountering it is that it sees light away, what's the light behind it? What does it look like? The animal recognizes it from its feel.
Right.
Now, why is the animal recognized from its field? Because the animal, from a worldly perspective, if I'm walking and something is in my way, this is an obstruction. How do I get over the obstruction? But if I were to recognize this is not an obstruction, this is the Eibusher put it in my way so that I benefit from it.
That's a birur.
Don't.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
You understand the point? It's a different world.
Yeah. Different from
It's a different thing. So then the darkness is not dark.
Right. That's part of what. Then already the human being's walking in light compared to the behemoth.
The human being is not walking in light. He is encountering this thing in the darkness. But he immediately recognizes that there is light.
Right. Saying on his inner reality is already light. No.
It is not. He's seeking light.
That's
Right now, he's still seeking. He still has a Yetzer Hara.
that's Or Min HaChoshech right there.
Right.
Oh.
I always, I'm sorry I get frustrated. I just want to point out something. I always make this point. 101 is two ones, 101 is two. I'm talking to you at the level that 101 is two, not two ones. In other words, we have to engage our seichel, the koyach ha-seichel, not to understand with our hands. When you start relating to Chassidus and to what we're trying to understand to godliness on the structural level exclusively, without the light behind it, there's nothing there. We always have to bring in the life element. If you say light, what do you mean by light? Like I always say, when you see light in the morning, what does that mean to you? Does that mean now I can see across the street? Or does that give you a completely different sense of the reality? That bring out a different element in your personal orientation. This is not something tangible. This is not something we can discuss in a structured manner. This exists exclusively in the human mind. Call it imagination, or call it the human life, the neshama. We call it neshama.
and the angels lack that. Okay.
What?
What's the Yisron Or Min HaChoshev? If a human has that neshama, so he sees morning light and he call it what you call it, neshama right there. On the other hand, he has the Yetzirah, so he. What's this?
The Yetzer Hara is drawing him and says, no, focus on world. And he says, no, but there is something greater than world and world.
And it's Torah exclusively, that it's Torah that enables him to see or say
right.
this.
It is Torah that enables him to see it and to deal with it, and to transform it. It's only Torah that enables him to see that this is something which I must not take because Hashem gave it to him, rather than if I take it, he's going to hit me in the face.
Right.
Is it higher than Oichoizer, or it's Oichoizer?
Well, Oichoizer is the principle that we can even experience today. But ultimately, the Bir of Yetzer Hara, yes, this is similar to Oichoizer. There's different levels. Oichoizer is only a specific oil. Bir of Yetzer Hara means you mabar it completely. Where the whole, as I said, the basis of existence becomes godly rather than worldly.
And last night we had that man walk standing up, and everything that indicates.
That's right.
Which is to say, really standing up is being Makabel Torah. I mean, there's no. I mean, on the one hand, start to think, oh, so the regular human stance is like.
We are pointing out all the time that the regular human stance is way beyond what we perceive it to be. It's a godly creation. All right. Okay, the issue of Medrash Rabbah, and as it says in Medrash Rabbah, the Toiv ze Malach Toiv, Mo'oi ze Malach Hara. Says at the end of the creation, right at the end of the sixth day, it says, "Vayalkim es kol asher osa v'hinei toiv me'oid." The line begins, "Hu min ha'choshen dafka." Hinei toiv me'oid. All the days, the previous days, it says, "Vayalkim es ki toiv." At the end of creation, it says, "Vayalkim es kol asher osa." You saw everything that he called, the whole creation, v'hinei toiv me'oid, that it is toiv me'oid. Very good. So Yemona says, what is toiv me'oid? Toiv is malach toiv, and ra, and me'oid is malach ra. How does malach ra represent toiv me'oid? Extremely good. Daridei biro yetzer hara davka. Because at that point, that is kol includes the ra, and therefore this is the me'oid. Because to biro yetzer hara davka al yodei nimshach oir elin yoser. But the biro yetzer hara, this is what enables the hamshach of a supreme oil, the hu toiv me'oid. And this supreme oil, this is toiv me'oid. This is extremely good, which means it is exclusively good, not good that makes it possible to live within ra. Toiv exclusively good, that which elevates the world to a primary good. Move on. Likewise, it's also understandable from the fact that oimeg haseichel, the depth of seichel, bo beremes davko, comes and is expressed and is recognized beremes with a hint, davko only. The oimeg haseichel cannot be verbalized and presented. It is recognized beremes, by a hint. And what's a hint? The betnua gashmi is dafko. That specifically, betnua gashmis, with a gashmisdike move, but in this bo oime kupnimis aseichel. In this gashmisdike movement comes the oimik, the depth of pnimis aseichel. Masha iyefshe lo b'dibur. That which is not possible to come with dibur. This is manifest even in normal seichel discussion. What does this mean? Or what does this mean? This speaks more than the words. Yeah. What is the oimek haseichel and pnimis haseichel versus the, so to speak, the surface of the seichel? A seichel, normally a seichel is that which has supporting evidence. Therefore, it has a broader base where you're saying, based on this, we come to this conclusion. This conclusion in seichel is true, you understand it and you recognize it, but nevertheless its truth is based on the supporting evidence. That is not oimega seichel. It does not in itself represent the truth that you recognize as truth. You have cognizance of it, you relate to it, but nevertheless its supporting evidence is what's holding it up. Oimeg HaSeichel is when the Seichel touches something which is beyond Seichel. That's ultimately the aim and the function of Seichel. As we said, one and one is not two ones, but two, which is beyond that which Seichel can actually elaborate on and demonstrate. You can't demonstrate two. You can demonstrate two once. But the illusion there is the reality of two. That's the real truth that you're trying to understand. That is something which is two once is something which is true because you can demonstrate it. Two is a concept. It's a truth in and of itself. Only a Bar Seichel can relate to that concept. You can't demonstrate it. That's the Oimek Asech. That's the Amitis Asech. And that is the point is, he comes beremes, says, this is what I mean. Not anything, not all the supporting evidence. Do you sense this truth or you don't sense this truth? That's the point. Do you sense the truth or you don't sense the truth? Have a great day.
The fifth, remember? Plead the fifth.
Have a good day.
He senses the truth.
Yeah. What you say?
You can plead the fifth, you know.
No, Shlomo Yonason senses the truth.
Samanu,